Hey guys, Shoppy Cool here, and this is another video documenting my trading card game, well, homemade trading card game, Battle of All Realms. If you didn't see the text I put on the last one, that is the name of this game. It's got this very simple card back. And today I'm going to be showing off the rock and the water decks, which are the third and fourth that I've made for it, so let's get to it. Okay, so here we have the two decks with their portal cards face up. I've somewhat organized these just so the portals are at the top and the incarnates, which are the strongest cards, are at the bottom. The rest of it's pretty much a mix except for the archetypes being together. So, because I made Oceanic first, I think I'm going to start with Rock to kind of reverse that order. Sorry, Water, not Oceanic, it's just the portal is a weird name. So, this is a Rock portal. Every deck has one portal card, as indicated by this P here. And that is a limitation. If you get another portal from a pack, you are only allowed one per deck. Same thing for the 4 rares per deck. So yeah, you reveal 2 cards from the top of your deck, add any revealed rock creatures to your hand. So really good if you're doing a pure rock deck, not the best if you're doing a hybrid deck, but no one's doing that yet because I'm still just making starter decks. Okay, here we have the first creature of probably the best archetype in the game, Gemasaur Sapphiraptor. These are all dinosaurs based on some kind of crystal. And this one's ability is, if it's killed for the ability of a Gemasaur, its attack is considered 150. That might not sound very relevant at first, because, if it's dead, what does its HP matter? But it can make some pretty good combos from the upcoming ones. This one is Trice Emerald. I'm actually going to put the cards I'm putting to the side here, so they're still on screen. And it says, if you have exactly 3 dead rock creatures, gain 100 attack. So you have to play this at a very specific point in the game, but if you can pull it off, it's well worth it. Here we have Amankylo. It's kind of... This is what's really going to help you set up your combos with this archetype. It's kind of like Gla in Chaos Galaxy. It lets you kill 1 Gemasaur to kill an enemy creature, regardless of that creature's HP. Single use, though, be able to kill one of your own Gemasaurs. Not including itself. This is Starubi, which may be very tempting to kill with it, because if it's killed by a rock creature's ability, gain 1 point. If it's killed by an attack, lose 1 point. So a bit of risk and reward there. And here we have Gemasaur Gigapaz. Add the attack of the last killed Gemasaur onto this card's attack. So, if your last killed one was Starubi, it would get 140. If your last killed one was Amankylo, it would have 260. Yeah, sorry, did I say 140? I meant it would have 240, because it's at 100. If this was your last killed, you'd get 260. If this one is the third card in your dead pile, or the third dead rock creature in your pile, that will count. It's meant to work when it's alive, but I think if this is creature number 3 in your dead pile, that's fine as well. But then, of course, if you use Amankylo to kill Sapphiraptor, you can give it 150 to gain quite a good amount as well. So there's quite a bit of nuance to how you can actually use this archetype, even though it's always going to be to power up this guy here. Here we have Claymund, which is a sticky mass of wet clay that gains sentience. Pretty self-explanatory there. This next one looks kind of similar, but I came up with these two entirely separately. This one is also one that's in Weather Wars. This one I came up with originally for this one. And as you can see, they've got vastly different stats, and neither of them have an ability, so it's not like they work together. Most rock cards have a very high health and low attack. This one's kind of the opposite, with 300. The idea is it's this giant sandy creature that just grabs you and pulls you into the dunes. Now, this is very important for late game in a, mid game in a rock player's game. Attached to a rock creature, its attack and HP are now swapped, kind of like the ability of Barrow in Chaos Galaxy, but as a single-use item that you use. Obviously, massively important if you need to get some good attacks in and get some damage. Here we have a resource with a bit of some positives, some negatives. When it's active, all rock creatures deal an additional 100 damage, but they also take an extra 100 when hit. Because like the rocks are getting like, they've got like special mining tools out, so the rocks getting broken easier, but they're hitting for more damage. That's kind of my thought process with that. Here we have another dinosaur one that isn't part of the archetype, this being Half-Fossil. A skeletal tyrannosaur that came back to life and emerged from the rock. This is the equivalent of Massive Drake or Hedge Beast for the rock deck. It's one of the rares, as you can see. Yes, this is one of our activators, being Cocoa Break. As you can see, it's got 2 cups of hot chocolate, one with this kind of rock icon, one with the water icon. And when a water creature would kill one of your rock creatures, neither creature dies and you gain 1 point. This is a reference to the fact that the rock and water players who I'm giving these decks to, they always grab a hot chocolate together right at the end of lunch at school. And they're just kind of standing there as the next year group is meant to be coming in, right by the vending machines. It's just a very consistent thing they always do, so I thought it'd be funny to make this into a card. Here we have Boulder Sign, returning from not only Weather Wars, but also Creatures of Battle. With an interpretation of its capability, I just realised that I'd peeled off a bit there, I've got to fix that somehow. Instead of attacking, you can kill up to 2 creatures with 60 or less HP in play. So, if your enemy just has 2 really weak creatures, like, well, to spoil it a bit, we'll say Holy Mackerel and and Brightness Blob, which are 2 of the water creatures with low HP. This could kill both those instead of doing a normal attack. Here we have Sandstorm, one that's pretty useful considering the HP of Rock's Incarnate card. When it's active, no more than 2 creatures can team up to perform an attack, but this card does destroy itself after 3 turns. So that you don't completely need to use Arson or something to destroy it, which is currently the only action that destroys these instantly. Here we have Skimmy Stommer, a very soft counter to the water deck, but still kind of one. If it kills a water card, it may attack another creature. So the idea is it kind of like skips across the water and keeps going if you have a skimmed stones. So you'd probably have to use this teaming up with another card, and then this would perform a solo attack against a weak one. So maybe this and something else would team up to kill a strong one, then this would go on to kill one of their really low HP creatures. Although, the second creature it kills doesn't have to be rock, so it could be pretty good against hybrid decks that run... the second creature it kills doesn't have to be water, so it can be good against hybrid decks that are running low HP creatures for whatever reason. Here we have Curse of the Tomb. This one hasn't properly been in any of my card games, but it was meant to be in Creatures of Battle. If I can find a test card, I will show you. Okay, here we go. This is how it was gonna be in Creatures of Battle. This is just one of the cards I used for actually playtesting that game, so obviously nowhere near finished, just a rough sketch and the stats. Its ability was gonna work entirely differently. It was gonna have its HP and attack always be the same. So, of course, it would just start off very strong, then end up being very weak. This one is very different in that it's still got the kind of soul theme to it, except it's cursing the enemy instead of having a link to the souls they spill out of it. Anyway, that's pretty interesting. So, our next one is, as you could probably see for a second just under it, rock music. I know, comedic genius. It's a action card, kill 1 rock creature from your hand, gain a point for every rock creature in play. The rock deck is currently the only one that's able to like gain points without directly attacking, and I think it kind of suits the more defensive playstyle of it. Definitely good if you've got like a bunch. Well, okay, I guess the most points you can gain from this is 3. But still, that's a decent amount. That's just under a third of the way to winning. And finally, we have the Incarnate card, Rock Incarnate. Very high HP, the highest out of any Incarnate so far. Pretty good attack. And of course, you can switch those with Seismic Shifts to be able to do a whopping 900 attack, which is only beaten by the Fire Incarnate, which is the one from the most aggressive deck, so who's surprised? You must, as usual, kill 2 of your own rock creatures to summon it. and then it's incredibly powerful. But of course, if the enemy manages to kill your incarnates, they get 3 points because of its increased strength. So there's always a level of strategy to playing them. I just realised I didn't have that in the shot before. Let's move it out. Okay. So next up, we have the Ocean deck, or the Water deck. I called it Water everywhere else. I just stylized the portal's name a bit, because Oceanic Portal sounded a bit cooler than Water Portal. So, sue me, I guess. Reveal 2 cards from the top of your deck, add any revealed water creatures to your hand. You get the deal by now. We have a very, less of an archetype, more of a combo, being Puffer and Puffer Buffer. Puffer is a buffer fish, so when it gets attacked, because like the spikes on it... Wait, I just realised I might be getting this confused with a different type of fish. Okay, I may have gotten these... No, wait, no, pufferfish are poisonous, I am right. Okay, yeah. So when it gets attacked, they lose 100 HP because like they've been poisoned by it. And then Puffer Buffer, if they're both in play, they both gain 50 attack, because I just thought the name worked great. Here we have Tugalon Colossus. Very generic concepts of like a turtle with a landscape on its back, but I think I did it really well for this one. I love how this art turned out, even the background and everything. If you want my creative inspiration, I was watching I had a like 5-hour long YouTube video about SCP Containment Breach on the background when I was making these, so maybe that's good for inspiration. Here we have Bockish. It's just based on... I saw a bok choy leaf once and just thought it looked kind of like a fish, so I thought, oh, I should add that to the game. That's pretty funny. Here we have Angulon, because we need an anglefish in this, and as you can see, I tried my best to give some color variety and not just make everything blue and grey. So this one's like purple. Probably looks a bit less horrifying than an actual anglerfish, to be fair. So yeah, no ability, pretty generic card. Here we have Momantaray, or Momantaray, because it's got mixed martial arts going on there, because the guy who I'm giving the water deck to does mixed martial arts, so I just thought, oh, it'd be funny if I made a card about that. And this card is actually the last one numerically in the water deck, and with the water deck is the only one to have 5 non-creatures instead of 6. So they actually have 1 more creature than everything else. Here we have Extra Small Fish Tank, with a very confusing looking art, but it makes sense if you figure it out. Revive 1 creature with either 10 HP or 10 attack, add it to your hand. Oh, and here we have one of the ones on it, Bryna's Blob, so you'll see why it didn't work out there, because it's got 40 HP. But if it kills a creature, it gets 60. This creature is also in Weather Wars. I just gave it this kind of goofy face because I thought it'd be funny. So, yeah. Here we have Rising Tide. Pretty much the only other way to destroy resources other than Arson, which is currently only in the Fire deck, but I plan to reprint in the set 1. So when this is active, all other resources are automatically destroyed 3 turns after they're played. Though, of course, this could be destroyed by Arson somehow, even though it's the concept of the ocean. But it doesn't need to make sense, it just needs to make sense when you play it. Oh yeah, this floods the resources and destroys them. Okay, this is Gulgul, another one from a little combo. Pretty basic seagull looking thing, except I give it a blue beak so it wouldn't just look like Wingull from Pokemon. And then its counterparts, Hellgull, which isn't a Hell card. But it is probably from there, because it's determined to murder you and steal your chips. If your Gulgul has died before this, it gains 50 attack. So it doesn't need to die immediately before, just if it's in your dead pile, this has 300 attack instead, and that's been very useful. Here we have one I'm very happy with, and I actually put it on the mini rulebook I made, which I'll show you. Yeah, here. I just printed this out to kind of just clarify some stuff. I might go through this in a video of its own. But, yeah, it's got a creature from the 4 current elements except for rock, so... Sorry. For any Rock fans out there, comment down below justice for Rock. Anyway, here we have the Crimson Serpent, and I kind of like how it's kind of going all out of frame and stuff. I think it's great. It makes it look way bigger than it is. Kill any of your own water creatures. Gain 100 in both stats for each kill. It's capped at 600, 600. So for the last one, you won't be gaining any health, but you would be gaining attack. And you have to do that immediately as you play this. You play this card, make your sacrifices, and then it'll have the stats it has. If you want to make it easier to remember what they currently are, you can just attach the cards that are killed just behind it or something. So it'd look like this, for example. Anyway, speaking of sacrificing cards, here we have the Holy Mackerel. Counts as 2 creatures towards any water creature's ability. So it can boost this one by 200 in both stats, which is very powerful. Although, it could also be used to summon your Incarnate with just 1 creature. Meaning, although it's got the worst stats out of anything in the game, it's still one of the best cards if you play it right. And also, it pretty much everyone who's seen this deck says it's their favourite card artwork-wise, and I am inclined to agree. So this is Acid Rain. While it's active, you deal 2 times damage to all nature and rock creatures, because those get dissolved by the acid. But you must kill one of your own cards each turn from your hand or in play. So it's, in my opinion, pretty balanced. It's great for a late game push, but of course you're killing off your own cards in the process. My only worry is that I also made it do 2 times damage to nature, and I don't know if nature's actually good enough to warrant this being a counter to it. Don't get me wrong, nature's pretty powerful, but I think this might just make nature worse by having a counter to it in another deck. Anyway, here we have Circle of Life. When one of your water creatures with more than 300 HP dies, add a killed water creature with less than 250 to your hand. So you could bring back a Brynus Blob or a Hellgull, something like that. You have Iron Diver, returning from Creatures of Battle and Weather Wars, a lot more rounded this time. So what I might do is make a prototype version of this card, where it's the older, more angular version, and they've got some ability that powers up this one. And finally, the Incarnate card, Water Incarnates. You must kill 2 of your own cards to summon it. Pretty balanced stats, except it does actually have slightly higher stats than any other Incarnate, but that's balanced out by the fact that a lot of the other creatures in this just have slightly worse stats than their nature, fire, and rock counterparts. Because the idea is you have really strong creatures and really weak ones. I am definitely kind of following the design philosophy that Chaos Galaxy has, even if I'm not directly copying them with anything. So, comment down below which of these has been your favourites, and also maybe comment which elements you're excited to see the most in the future. The ones that are coming up are going to be Sky, Hell, and Cosmic, and then maybe also Robot or Technology at some point in the future. So, thanks for watching, like and subscribe, see you guys next time.